and then I'll just be a minute or so while I'm looking for something to talk about. Probably can go up on sound a hair here.
Withdrawing the barrier.
Yeah, no, you did stop, but so maybe you realized it partly through shooting at it. But if you can avoid a Ramatra barrier, it's usually just worth of just going around it, just because
Yeah.
it only stays up for such a short duration, and it's such a high HP count that there's no need to destroy it if there's no need to destroy it. So
Yeah.
but maybe you thought they were like on Sigma for a second or something like that. But once you recognize that, now throughout the rest of the game, we probably don't want to shoot at it if we don't need to. Oh, that's unfortunate. Kind of let that kill get
Yeah,
away.
I tried to flash the barrier to save him, and then she got away just because my aim on fast-moving things with projectiles is integrated.
Actuating the barrier.
Right, so there were...
I kind of accepted my fate. We were just getting
Yeah.
walked on.
Mm-hmm.
The ports got caught out somehow when I said I called drop as soon as they got to the corner,
Yeah.
and like, brother went with me, and then we kind of just they kept walking while they were stuck behind, and like, okay, whatever.
Yep. Now I think that if you're talking about like rotating, you probably would have been better off coming and going in through the building, because then you can get up
Yeah,
and be in
more
over
natural
here.
cover.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense. Yeah.
More natural cover, and then you end up giving yourself like this no man's land positioning here as well, giving control over this. Whereas what we did was kind of cut straight through
Yeah,
the
went
middle.
through.
Yeah, so that's gonna help reduce damage. That's gonna maybe like your team didn't come because they felt like they didn't want to step out into the open. Like imagine if your Zen tried to, run straight down this way. So
Yeah.
then that just kind of confuses them and can split up your team. So the pathing there is probably something that could have helped if you're watching that.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Okay, jump.
I think that game was a warm-up game before yesterday. Should be fairly. Yeah, it was about a day ago, so that was yesterday.
Gotcha. So right now we're kind of putting up shield for a lot of this spam damage, which just means that we're gonna engage into this fight with a low shield. So we're probably eating up a little bit more spam than we want to at the moment. So might be a good idea to just drop it and let it recharge. We could be just getting around this corner if we wanted to, just because there's no immediate threat. And we end up just wasting a lot of the shield. Like if you look at their team, they don't really have any threat on their team in which your team's gonna instantly die, right? Like they have a decent bit of medium range damage, but they don't really have very much that will instantly blow up something on your team. So you have time to react with shields if you're at a long range like this. So yeah, just probably no big reason to be holding up hard holding up shield and wasting a lot of it.
Yeah.
Because then we're trying to push and we just don't have anything. Okay, very nice. Uh-oh. What was
God,
the...
this game is so chaotic. Jesus.
what was the problem with this right here?
I'm probably low health. It won't let me full screen on my phone
Oh,
for some reason.
interesting.
I'm assuming I'm low health.
No, you're full HP right now. So you're good on health. You're good on shield. Your shield's full HP as well.
I guess challenging the Ramatra while he's in his hunting or a nemesis. Pylon goes down. That's always my biggest concern. Is nobody shoots at the freaking pylon.
Yep. The issue is that you run after the Ramatra when there's a Ilaria standing right next to you. So it's a bit of target priority, right? Go for the easier target, not the harder target. So here, just go for Ilaria, and then she does end up backing up, probably because she gets scared of you. But that would be the benefit, anyways. Is if she did, even if you didn't kill her, you'd push her out of the fight, and then that's
Make her disengage.
yeah, exactly. So it's still a benefit, even if you didn't kill her. But she's just a better target to go for.
My shield holds strong.
Yeah, so just kind of eating up a lot of shield spam again.
They were asking for shield so they could spam. It's like, okay, I'll give it to you.
Yeah. And then the other thing, when this kind of gets back to like the spamming up. So like, if you're gonna let it drop to recharge. Because what you're doing is you're dropping it, and then you'll let it recharge for like 100, and then you're throwing it up again. So you're not actually letting it recharge at all. You're just throwing it up as soon as the recharge actually starts. So here we do it again. We get down to 400. We wait like 2 seconds, and then we flash it up again, which cancels it again.
Yeah.
And then we drop it, and then we go up at 500, and then we drop shield at 26, and then now we let it recharge. But that's what we should probably be doing, is take longer recharge durations unless you really need your shield, right? That way you're not just flashing it up every 5 seconds and then never having any shield to work with. So it's going to give you more shield when you need it. When he's just sitting there blocking, that's going to be a pretty easy charge, right? Because he's just kind of moving really slow, and it's going to be something that can go through his block, right? Where you're swinging
like Doom block. I should pin it.
Yeah.
Just so I can negate that and get that extra burst damage.
Exactly. Extra burst damage. He's moving really slowly, and it's going to do reduced damage to your swings and fire strike anyways. So it's going to be even more your more effective damage option. Probably a bit of awareness there. Just watching out for the Sombra, trying to keep your paying attention for her. Okay. A lot more not letting shield recharge. We're just kind of dropping it and then waiting a couple seconds and then flashing it back up.
I'm kind of taking things that I get told from this, like one thing at a time, like peeking fire strikes for a shorter time. I've been doing that a lot more. Sometimes I don't still, but I've been peeking out super fast and playing it most of the time, and then switch it down as quick as I can.
Yep.
I've been kind of taking it one thing at a time with heroes I play. Diva, I've tried to stop flashing up DGAM as much. I feel I have.
Yeah, for sure.
Now it's just figuring out different habit in Reinhardt.
Yeah,
Not figuring out, but freaking habit.
Exactly.
So it's not
him. Nice block, nice good shielding there.
But the deal about the walk, just walk. It's like, okay, yeah, you got it, bro. Because sometimes I don't think to do. I try to take the teammates, but like at castles, I don't think to always shield it. But he's like, walk, just go. Like, okay, you got it.
Yep. For sure, and that was good. It was a good play because then he gets just shielded as he inches forwards.
That's capacity. Oh, actually.
Okay, so
I can explain that shatter. I swear.
So we're
I
trying
was
to
using
back out.
back out and break his. I've learned sometimes it's not the right move, but like Moira ult or Ram ult, you can shatter that. You can get away from Ram, cancel his ult, or you can just completely stun Moira. So sometimes I use it more defensively than offensively as well,
Yeah.
just so we can get out. Because that ult, if we were stupid, would absolutely destroy us.
Yeah. The only thing that I would question is, could you have gotten out even without shattering? Because if you can get out without shattering, then that means that you don't have to waste it, right? Like,
Yeah.
and then you could use it aggressively, which I would think that you probably can get out here even without shattering because your teammates are already a little bit ahead of you on the disengage. You aren't super, if you're being pocketed by a Mercy Ana, you're not super in danger of dying,
Yeah.
so you can kind of like slowly back out, and then if you feel like then you're under more pressure, then you can shatter him to stop the engagement. But that would do a couple things. Firstly, it would mean that you're not wasting it immediately, you're kind of waiting longer to see, and then you might even have a better opportunity because maybe now like the trance runs out, right? Or maybe they're in a more push forwards position, or maybe even like something as simple as like you can hit more than just the Ramatra because they're all grouped up more. So I think we just kind of rush. It's not that it's a bad play to use it defensively because you definitely can. It's probably just used a bit early here at the very least, and you might not even need to use it defensively at all here because you might be able to just kind of tank through it or walk away from it. Does that all make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the moment I hear a Lari ult coming, Ram's popping his ult, and there's a trans going, it's like, brain kind of just goes chaos from it. I'm like, okay, just get out, even if it's wasted, and run, which I do believe I end up saying to myself that was a wasted shatter, because there's an opportunity where I actually needed it. It's like, well, good job.
Exactly. Yep. And then it comes down to like, not panicking even though 3 ults are happening, but just like kind of waiting and seeing and evaluating, because that's part of your gameplay is going to be awareness of the fight, even if things are chaotic. Okay. Little aggro here at the moment, right? We're down 1 player. We're kind of pushing in when you don't necessarily need to push in. You could probably just wait on this corner and play off the corner, remembering kind of the rules of like choke points and no man's land, right? You let them come to you. You don't necessarily want to just push through open space to go to them, so have them come through this, because this right here, like these 2 pillars, this is like a choke point right here, so you can position here. They try to pull the card up to you and you just contest the card, you play the corner. So that's probably just better positioning for you than trying to run into them, because we end up just getting kind of smacked around here.
Sometimes there's cases where I do that on accident, or I guess on accident, being over aggressive. Other times I kind of get yelled at to go in when they think my one of the supports is Captain Summer, when he thinks we can go in. It's like, I guess I'm not going to argue with you, and I go in, and then it works.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit of both. I do it. Not a lot, but enough to risk my life.
Yeah. That's funny. This skin makes you look like Bob.
Oh, this skin is so funny. I have it set to random for favorite, so it's changing after that.
Nice. Okay, once again, shield usage. Remember, shield usage wants to, especially when you have such a long cooldown like Ramatra, you want to use it when it's really needed. Whereas right now we're just kind of poking, right? Like if you look at their team and you go, okay, they have Sombra. Sombra, what range is Sombra?
She's definitely a close range.
Close, maybe capping out at a little bit of a mid, right? Like especially with her new spread difference, right? But she also doesn't have very much burst, right? And she's closer. Ramatra,
Especially on a tank.
Ramatra's not gonna burst you. Soldier, or sorry, no, blah, 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 Alari, right? Alari, she has a little bit of bursty, but not on a tank like you. Zenyatta, maybe you can worry about Zen, or maybe you can worry about Tor. But like, if you're playing on the corner, nothing that they have will burst you immediately. You probably don't need, if you're just playing off this corner, you probably don't need the shield, and then it doesn't end up getting wasted for when you might need it in a couple seconds here when you actually are engaging in the fight. Good job. I like that you're using your E off cooldown your vortexes. Like maybe now you could be shielding against.
Yeah,
like,
you can see me look at the ground, hoping I have my shield ready, and it's not.
Yeah.
If I look at the ground on Ramatra, hoping God my shield is coming back up.
What's the issue with this play right here?
My positioning in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. Where should you be?
Either playing that corner next to me. That's probably the best spot is right there because I can walk behind, or I could take that high ground on the right.
Yeah, I'd say right side is probably best because then you get to be with your teammates, you get to tank with your teammates. You probably don't want to be flanking as Ramatra, but and then this means that you have to go through the open to get over here. So you're already on this right side corner. I just stay on the right side corner, but you kind of like end up pushing around it, which is unfortunate.
It is quick play though. It's not two sides, but
Okay. So we still have another, 37 minutes. You have anything else you want to go over here?
let's see. I don't think so. Actually, like yesterday, I can give you one of the codes from yesterday's game just to, like, I actually were playing it yesterday after all the issues and drama, and we went with the roster. Like the energy was good, and I played like really good. We lost one round because we were just trying something from a World Cup on Kings Row, and it did not work. Which was the enemy team's play was. We'll send the Kings Row code. Why not? KN 5H 8A. So that's Kings Row from yesterday. Which I hate that we lost Kings Row because I love that map, but.
Ready for battle.
I'm getting paid.
Ready for battle.
So the idea was I would be the bait main, and then everyone else rotates the long way around high ground. But instead of them completing that rotation, once I got walled, it just dropped. Kind of just wasted too much time doing this.
Gotcha. So here,
Which the wall wasn't even that good, so I was like, okay.
yeah. Unfortunately, you drop in on the wrong side. You get walled up in the air, and then you choose to drop on their side there.
Yeah, it's saying that if you get walled, we'll drop. So they were coming behind me if I needed to help me out, and then I kind of exploded because Bastion. I'd never seen people play like all of them play lined up on the hotel like that, which is really interesting though.
Yeah, because they're looking to play off of the May wall, I would think. Oh, so you saw your teammates are
Yeah,
behind you, so
they
you're
were
trying to drop their
saying,
team.
yeah, they were saying if you
Gotcha.
get walled, we'll drop, or we'll continue flanking around.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, something like that. We almost won this fight, but we couldn't capitalize on the ride. And I can't land my freaking fire strike to save my life.
Yeah. So missing fire strikes, I'd say once again shield management. Not the best because as you're pushing in, you're, I think, wasting a lot of it because we're kind of just like sitting there and soaking up. We're flashing it up unnecessarily. We're holding it when nobody's there. So shield management, once again, is another thing to work on. Gotta watch not getting aggressive when you get walled.
We tried the same play like 2 times. You're going to see pretty much the defense was better. We still lost it because we got picked off by ult. They had more than us, but I believe that's fine. The defense is much better.
The Reinhardt. I imagine you probably weren't expecting the Reinhardt to have it that quickly.
I was kind of I think I was saying something about it, but I was trying to push up past and then he just kind of drops it. I'm amazed I didn't get shatter in that. I feel like I was saying I knew, but at the same time, it was very fast, and I should have known for sure. It's like, okay, he's gonna have shatter. I should play a little chill here.
Yeah, probably want to try to countercharge that. Is something that can help stop him there. So awareness of shatter, countercharging.
Normally, I'm very aware on shatter, so that I can keep up with that other. My shatter blocking, different story.
Yeah, so when you know that they have shatter, just want to be trying to put shield up more frequently.
Oh yeah, I will
watch.
flash it like a lot more, but I'm still not very good at blocking shatters.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of it comes.
I can keep up, and then it's like everyone's like, okay, he probably has shatter. Nick, please try and block it. It's like, try. I'm not very good at that.
Yep,
Some games I'll block all of them. Other games I get shattered every time.
Yeah, a lot of it is it's kind of like psychology almost. It's like when do Reinhardts generally shatter, right? Like it's thinking through, like when would you like to shatter? Is that how they're playing, right? Like generally a lot of times like Reinhardts want to shatter when your shield's down, when your teammates are all grouped up. So if your team's all grouped up, your shield's down, he has shatter, he's probably looking to shatter. You want to, a lot of times Reinhardt have like tells that they're about to shatter. Like if we go back to that last fight, a lot of the time Reinhardt, they'll act abnormal when they're looking for shatter. Like one thing they'll do is like a lot of times Reinhardts will stop shielding and they'll swing around more when they're or on the flip side they'll hard shield. So
hard shield or jump or
so notice here, like when we're pushing in, the Reinhardt's kind of like, notice how he's like kind of pushed forwards in a really far position. So like you can kind of tell based off of behavior as well, right, that he's looking for it. So there's behavior, there's timing, there's paying attention, that kind of what you're doing. So there's a lot of different things and things to pay attention to.
And you're about to deal with shatter because I thought it would go through the gap in the main wall, but
that's unfortunate.
Got shattered. What? Oh, shoot. I shattered in the open. Oh no, I guess I kind of hit the side of it, but you can see it go through.
Yeah, I think it probably gets caught on the May wall, I'm thinking.
I mean, I learned an interaction, so I know not to do it again, but...
Yep. I probably would still push in a hair because then you can even get the May in it too if you just push in a hair further.
Yeah. Oh, that was Zach's wall. That was my teammate's wall too.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I was confused by that. It's like, wait, see it go through, but at the same time, I don't
I
know.
think
It's
I
just
think
some.
I think a little bit of it does go through, but it looks like it's just not on the right path.
Yeah. Have a new thing
No.
with not to shatter main walls when it's only a one piece broken opening.
Yep. Uh oh. And then watching health
And
bar
then by
there.
that point, I was like, what the hell happened? I'm just going by that point. So I thought I shattered people. It's like, okay. And I'm like, oh, it did not. And there's a Bastion gunning me down.
Yep. So awareness once again.
When they start playing back, it's like, okay, we'll take this base.
You
Yeah, and
can.
this second, I don't know what's fully going on because there's like people saying things all around me. It's like,
Shield by frame.
Here, when that's coming down, you can block those by either facing them, or you can even look
yeah,
up and block them as well.
yeah, I do that.
That's all you've got?
Because we kind of end up standing on top of this one, and then that takes away all of our extra shield health.
I heard myself explode. Well, I think they end up winning the fight anyway. Or no, didn't they? We got 2 picks at some point.
Yeah, so we kind of gave up our Lucio beat. We're pushing in. We end up losing cover again, right? Noticing how we're just very wide out in the open, right? So then they beat second, and we're trying to back up, but we're just wide out in the open once again. So hugging that left wall is going to be much better off for you, or being further back. And then we end up just kind of being there.
Exploding.
Yep. Could potentially try to shield hop backwards as well. Okay, good counter freeze. Good job. It's unfortunate you get slept here. It is going good. They get a pick.
Yeah, I said something about the Ana being behind us, but I don't know how many were alive at that point because I was focusing forwards. Like, there's an Ana behind. I think she ends up actually killing like 2 or 3 people there.
Yeah, or she gets you slept and they kind of kill everyone else there.
Yeah. Then it's like, oh, Ana, hi.
Yeah,
Just trying to die on point.
You
That's
the
all I
only
can.
thing you did there was just get slept. So besides that, you played it good. Uh-oh.
I was just anything because Zach said to drop. It's like, oh, okay, and then we get mailed. A good play by them. Can't be mad about it. Maybe I can talk this right to possibly save up a little bit here, and then I get frozen.
Say that again?
I was hoping the time that shatter is it right before it froze me to at least knock the Rhine and take some focus away. But it's like, then I got frozen. Then we
Yeah,
died, so.
it probably just needed to happen like as soon as you saw the mail. Yeah, what's something else you could be doing here is attempting to, as soon as you hear that mail, attempting to charge out of it is something you could go for, but that could end up getting you just frozen by May anyways. But if you were reacting quick enough to it, you could charge out of it to like the left here, and then that would
Flick around, drop the beam, and maybe win the fight.
Yeah, exactly. And then you could get a shatter and it'd still be contesting. But besides that, we end up just like making a decision too slowly. So maybe a little bit of that comes down to like I don't know if you knew that they had nailed or not, and the reactions. So it'd be like old tracking reactions, but it's not a good situation for you in general.
Ready for
The
battle.
defense is a bit better, but we still
Note that they're able to destroy. You keep putting your shield up, but you keep putting your shield up through the wall for them.
Yeah, I was starting to think that. Oh, hey, they can still do damage through that.
Yeah, so we end up just like kind of eating up damage on our shield, and I wonder how much of that is actually just through the wall because we're kind of giving it to them for free there. Probably just want to be letting it full recharge right now. We flash it up again, flashing it up again when it's like really low, and we just want to recharge it, right? Because we don't need it. We have it off HP, but we keep flashing it up, and then now we just don't have it. Fire strike ground, unfortunately. Maybe we could have even charged the Reinhardt there. That's you have the
Yeah,
wall
I
up.
wanted to pin him, but then my Bastion was asking for shield, so it's like, okay,
Okay.
if they ask, I try and.
So
A
we're
lot.
holding shield, soak up damage, soaking up damage. Yeah, once again, more just flashing up of shield. So now
Yeah.
we only have like half of it when we really need it. Yeah, so shield management once again. Now here we end up basically getting aggro when we shouldn't be aggro because our teammates, right? I don't think we notice that our teammates are not, or at
All
least
over.
we're like down two of our supports right now, so you're essentially 2v4 at the moment. Which this is probably on your supports. I don't know why your supports are like all the way in the back here. I think they're like scared of Sojourn, but I don't know why they're like not playing in room here. But we as a team have to be like aware of where each other are positioning. So as Reinhardt, you should be paying attention. Have we already talked about before? You know how to like turn around, like to turn your camera's POV while you shield, right?
Yeah, I know how to do that.
Say that again.
I do know how to do
You do,
that.
yeah. So that's one method you can do. You can use that. You can do the classic, 360 and just do a quick, or 180 and just like do a quick turnaround and check. You can keep your ears open and listen. You can ask where they're positioning. You have a lot of different ways to know where they're at, right? So just check rather than just assuming that they're with you, and then we're kind of dying when we don't have them. Interesting. Your team pulls that around. What the?
Yeah, we actually held that one. I was impressed. But then by the time I get back, we're already losing again. It's like I can either parch, that it's like keep that shield up, and they're like, we're coming, hold on.
Here, once again, we're not really shielding for anything in particular. Like our
Yeah,
tracer.
I thought the Tracer was still with me because he kept asking to hold that barrier. So it's like, okay.
Yeah. So once again, like instead, when it comes to like callouts like that, you want to be you obviously want to respect others and you want to and sometimes people have good calls to make, but you want to match up their calls with what you are seeing in game, because
Mhm.
people can make bad callouts. Like let's say for example, I mean like this is your teammates, right? So this is a little bit different. You want to be able to listen to your teammates, but like let's say you're in a ranked game, and you're in a what SR are you at right now?
I'm in Diamond.
Diamond, right? So let's say you're in a diamond game and you have your diamond player giving you diamond advice. Okay, how are you going to be a masters player and be good enough to win your games if you're listening to diamond players telling you how to play the game? Right? So it's
Yeah.
that kind of thought process. So it's not to say that your teammates don't have good things to say, because they definitely can, but because maybe Tracer was just saying like hold up shield because I'm 1 HP, right? And that's a good call out, right? But if you're not watching for the Tracer, the fact that the Tracer's running around that corner, then you're just gonna make a play like this where you just waste your whole shield because you're not watching, right? So you gotta take what they say and then have your own discernment too, right? So here, this would be just an example of that, where like, yes, you should hold shield when Tracer's there, but once Tracer's around that corner, then you should be dropping it, right?
Hmm.
That all that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because now we have 300 when we need to be on point contesting, and we just don't have any shield to contest with. Good block. He jumped with it for some reason.
Yeah, I was actually impressed I blocked that one.
Yeah, don't. It's because I think he jumped
Jump
backwards.
shatters.
Yeah, so don't jump with your shadows.
Yeah, make that time longer. Good pull. We thought we could win it.
Okay, never letting shield recharge, right? So once again, we're starting this fight. Like the fight is now starting now again, right? Because it paused while the Reinhardt was dead, and now the fight's starting, and we have less than half of our shield, right? We want to be starting the fight with most of your shield, not half of it or less. Let's see, because they kind of pick your team apart. Were we waiting for teammates to get back there?
We were kind of getting told, stay alive, do what you can. We're coming back.
Okay.
Specifically told to regroup or anything.
Yeah.
We were all just kind of staggering, and it didn't work really well.
So here, I think you probably want to be stuffing them in the choke a little bit harder, and like if Reiner's trying to push, you can be, because like look at where you're positioned right now, right? Like you're pretty far on point, and then we're on the corner a little bit, but then we let Ryan, and then we're backing up, and we let Reinhardt charge halfway on point before we're contesting him, right? And then by that point, he's created so much space that his teammates just kind of walk in for free, right?
Yeah.
So instead, what you could be doing here is countercharging him when he's like right here, or a little bit further back, and then that you countercharge him while he's stuffed in that choke still, and you don't let their team walk in for free. So it helps maintain the quicker, the more quickly you address the Reinhardt here, the more likely, the less space that they get to take, because Reinhardt just kind of charges in, and then he's just like and then we can test him. But then by that point, the whole team's in. They get a nano and beat going, and then your team's at the ult disadvantage.
Yeah.
So playing positional advantage better is probably the play. Okay, good shatter, but too late.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have 15 minutes left. Rounds up. Probably not enough time to. Or I'm trying to think. Trying to think of this like anything we can go over in the meanwhile. Did you get to try out Maga while he was out?
Yes, I really do like him.
Oh yeah, he was a blast. I thought he was busted though. He was like.
Yeah. I heard he was busted. I heard he's also a bit underwhelming and
You've heard all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He explodes like Roadhog, so he's not very scary against Ryan really. So it's like, interesting.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed him. I love his kit. I love his style. Just have to see how he is when he launches.
Yep, 100%. All right. Let's see, Reinhardt. Sometimes like corner swinging tech, I think could be like a little bit better. So like sometimes when you're playing off of those corners, it seems a little clunky. I'm trying to think if there's any good corners that we can use here. It's not really any bots that are right on corners, unfortunately. I guess like over here when they walk by. When you're playing off of corners, you kind of want to go in and out with your swings. Remembering that your swings kind of have different, because you're swinging from two different directions. You're gonna be able to get around that corner better on those left swings. So if that left side corner is over here, we're gonna have a harder time getting to the people around there with those right swings. But when we come back to the left side, we can get around much easier. So really, the main thing is you push with the swing back, push back, and you just kind of go in and out with your swings. And then that way you're able to get in, and you'll kind of want to find a nice rhythm behind it. Watch, especially when you have cover, watch shield spamming. There's not a big need to be shielding when you're holding a corner. Sometimes if you're holding the corner, you don't even need to peek at all, especially if you're low HP. Like I can be just like chilling around this corner and just like swinging like this, and like I'm not even in line of sight of them, but I'm keeping them from walking through.
Yeah.
So just keeping that pressure on them are things that you can do. Trying to think if there's anything else we can cover in the meanwhile. And I feel like we've already gone over a lot of different techs on these characters. Have you been playing any other characters recently at all? It's just mainly Sigma, right?
Here and there. When it's against the horse, my biggest weakness on Zarya is bubble management and charge management. Trying to keep that charge up time and not waste my bubbles.
Yes, for sure. Yep,
That's
bubble management is uber important on Zarya, just because it dictates so much of your entire kit. Like if you don't have good bubbles on Zarya, you're not going to be able to do any damage. You're not going to be able to get any ult charge. You're not going to be able to do your tanking. Your bubbles are big chunk of what you're doing on Zarya. So definitely important thing to keep your eye out for. So with Zarya, different tech things. Are you presuming you're already familiar with your hopping, right?
Yeah.
Rocket jumping with Zarya, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, besides that, you have right-click management. Like when do you use right clicks? A lot of Zarya's run into problems of like using right-click too much or right-clicking not enough. You kind of want to have a good. You want to use it when it's needed, which is when you're out of left click range. Left click is what you want
Yeah.
to use when you're range. Right click was out of range, but also you can use it to burst down targets. So we can do a right click melee to burst something down really quickly and finish it off. So you can kind of get that combo for a really quick burst finish, especially if you have more energy. You'll be able to burst them down really quickly with the right click melee. So that's a really good handy thing to be watching out for. Do know as well, if you were not aware, your ultimate on Zarya follows the same projectile path as your right click. So
Yes, I do.
yes, you did that. Cool.
I've been told it. Do I remember it all the time? No, but I do know it.
Yeah, and a lot of times you don't want to chuck it super far anyways, but if for whatever reason, if you did need to throw it far away, you'd be able to do something like that because you can see where it's going
Yeah.
and adjust accordingly. Yeah, you can do the same thing. What's the other character you can do that for? Trying to remember. There's one other character, but I'm trying to remember what character it is. Oh, I guess Bap Lamp follows the same projectile path as his healing.
I think I knew that one.
Yep. Alright. Well, let's do wrap up stuff then. Sigma.
Alright.
Abilities. Honestly, not too shabby. Watch a little bit of flashing. It wasn't as bad as Reinhardt, because I think Reinhardt is we have a little bit more availability to it, but watch flashing. Still a little bit. Rock, not too bad. Grasp, not too bad. Overall abilities on Sigma, like a low to medium, if not lower. I only saw you on Sigma for like a minute. I didn't even see an ultimate.
I am much more conscious about the flashing of the shield and all those sort of things.
Yep. So overall, honestly, I didn't even see you on Sigma very long, but abilities was definitely lower than Reinhardt. Reinhardt, with ability usage, fire strikes, you could be landing a few more of them. So putting effort into making sure those are connecting, keeping them straight, going through a crowd of people. Pins, use them when needed. So that Ramatra's just sitting in front of you, blocking, pin him. Pin when you have shorter distances. Pin when you know that it's not going to be dangerous. It's just very easy damage. But be careful if it is dangerous and it's in front of their whole team. You use it to get back to traverse space quicker. Right? You just have a lot of options with it. Shield usage. Shield management was a big one. Watch shield management closely. Don't flash. If it's recharging, don't flash it up every 5 seconds or 3 seconds. Let it recharge. You don't necessarily need it. Be very careful. It's a reminder, right? Shield shouldn't be used for any old random spam damage. It wants to be used when you're using it for abilities and ultimates, and when you or your teammates are low and or in danger. When you see that you really need it. When you're pushing, when you're backing, you don't want to just put it up for no reason, right? And that's gonna help you manage it. So don't put it up as much. Use cover more. Don't spam it and flash it and cancel the recharge, because we just didn't have your shield when you needed to have your shield, like at the start of fights. Overall, that was like a higher end of a medium or a lower end of a medium high, something like that. Shatter usage. Don't shatter defensively if you don't need it defensively. And when you're shattering, don't shatter into a May wall. Be ambitious. Make sure you're trying to get as many people in your shatter as possible. I think a lot of, honestly, just like, we just had a lot of technical problems with shatter this time around. So just be careful. Make sure you're trying to land it. Make sure like each shatter is important. So make sure that you're being careful that it's connecting. And that's just like a medium or so, something around that range, lower end of medium, something. Reinhardt doesn't, a little bit of like target priority, right? Like 1 or 2 times, so you're looking at the wrong target, but nothing too massive on that end. Then there is your let's see. Then there is your positioning. Make sure you are using cover. That's a big one because you're out in the open a lot of the time. Make sure you are, when you're trying to get from point A to point B, you're using cover and pathing through places that have cover. Use corners, take advantage of no man's land and choke points, and remember how to hold those defensively. A lot of just positioning things I think we could be doing better. Overall, that was also like a higher end of a medium or so. And then finally, awareness. Watch for your health, watch for your shield health, watch for where are your teammates at, because you would just not know where your teammate was at, and then you would go in without them. Watch for where the enemy team is at and what they're all up to. Watch for ultimates so you don't, not to die, to mail and stuff like that. A lot of stuff in awareness as well. That was like a medium or higher end of medium, so we're somewhere in that range. So to put that all in order, number 1 comes to your shield usage and ability usage. Number 2 comes to positioning. 3, awareness, and then 4, ult usage. Lower, definitely a much lower ability usage on Sigma though. Any final questions?
No, sir.
Alright, sounds good to me.